Hello and welcome to another reflection. It's been a very cold, wintry week here in Kent, and I have to say the boys have been very excited because we finally had a little bit of snow. But as we move away from the thought of winter and look towards the promise of spring, this morning we're thinking about something really amazing, the transfiguration of Jesus. But first, our reading, which is taken from Mark's Gospel. 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it's good for us to be here. Let's make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not know what to say, for they were terrified. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and from the cloud came a voice. "This is my son, the beloved. Listen to him." Suddenly, when they looked around, they saw no one with them anymore, but only Jesus. This is the word of the Lord. Well, I have to say this week, every email advert I've received, everything that I've seen on Facebook trying to sell me something, every advert in between Coronation Street has all been about Valentine's Day. That's the next big commercial thing that's been coming up upon us today. Love, love, love. I've even got a jumper with it written on. It actually says, "Love your planet." Very important message. But what is it really all about? Well, it did get me thinking. Rather than going commercial and wanting to run away from it, what do we really love? What do we really love about our world and the people in it? I've got just 4 things that I'd like to share with you. Maybe you could have a think during that time of what you would choose. I think by now, if you know me well enough, you know one thing I'm a bit obsessed about. Maybe it's not a thing, but a person. Sadly, they can't be with me today. I do have a particular love for Jason Donovan. He was my first love when I was about 8 years old, and he continues to be so. Yes, nothing will ever come of it. It's somebody good to watch and to listen to sing, and especially on Dancing on Ice at the moment. But actually, it's become quite a good support network being a Jason Donovan fan over on Twitter, on social media. There's quite a group of us who engage and support each other, and we've come together just because we are Jason Donovan fans. So, love of as a celebrity can draw people together. I also really, really love chocolate. I know some people are allergic to chocolate. I'm allergic to dairy, but Galaxy have started doing a vegan version. This is a game changer. It is amazing. I love chocolate. Obviously in a different way to which I love Jason Donovan, but I still love chocolate. In the background you might hear something else that I really love. These 2 terrors. I absolutely love Daniel and Elijah. They tear my heart out at times, and my hair. They drive me crazy. But at night, when they want big, big cuddles and snuggles, oh, I just love that. I love everything about them. Their quirkiness, the way they make me laugh, the way they make me really think about things, and the way they totally take me out of myself. They are my whole world, and I love them to pieces. Jason Donovan, chocolate, and Daniel and Elijah. Something else, though, that I really love. Got a cross here. And my main passion in life, apart from my boys, has to be for Jesus. When I was little, I never forget my dad telling me a story that when he went to see my granddad to ask his permission to marry my mum, I loved hearing this story, so I used to ask about it many times. And my dad used to say that when he went to see my granddad said, "Well, Paul, before I say you can marry Jean, I need to know, what's your first love in life? And my dad thought, oh, this is hard. Is this a trick question? I don't know how to answer this. And he, being the man he is, he can only say the truth. And he said, George, I have to say, my first love isn't for Jean, it's for Jesus. And my granddad turned around and said, you're the man for my daughter. Jesus needs to be at the heart of everything we do. So I wonder what things you would choose. Maybe if you're on your own, you could have a think about that. What things do you really, really love and treasure? People, objects, things in the world. If you're with somebody else in your house, maybe you could have a chat with them about what things you really, really love and why you really love them. We can love so many different things, can't we? From the superficial, like the chocolate, to the things that take us back to our childhood ideals, like Jason Donovan, to people and to places. Obviously, there's so many more things I love. A sunset, a beach. Who wouldn't give anything to go to a beach today? Family, friends, all of those I do really treasure, but I would be here all day if I listed everything. But those things that we love do give us an immense feeling. They make us happy. They make us tingle inside. They make us smile. Now I want you to have a think about what things make us go, wow. What gives you the wow factor? What really brightens your eyes or life when you think about that? And maybe again, have a think by yourself, or maybe you could share with somebody in your family. This week we've had many wow moments with the boys, especially when they saw the snow. Elijah barely remembers snow, and it created a wow factor when he opened the curtains, and then a, ooh, I don't like this, when he realised how cold it really was. Snow has, if you don't have to go anywhere, can have that wow factor. It makes anything look so beautiful, and at night time, as it's getting colder again, it glistens beautifully. I tried to take so many pictures, but it just didn't do it justice, because just the natural beauty just doesn't come through on a camera. Snow is something that we love. As I said already, I do love going to the beach. One of our favourite family holidays is to go to a place in Spain, which obviously we haven't been able to do for a while. And the beaches there are just glorious, and the sea and the sun, altogether the whole ambience of being there in Spain is just wow. We step off the plane and we feel that wow moment. We've arrived to somewhere of peace and relaxation. Maybe you love rainbows. Maybe it's a flower. Maybe it's a mountain scene. So many things in creation make us stop and go, wow. Sometimes we can be far too busy that we miss the wow factor. And I think the pandemic has helped us really capture that again, being able to take stock and stop and just go, wow, that is amazing. Or wow, I really miss that place or that person or that thing that we can't do together anymore. There are many, many beautiful things, and we are blessed with them in our world. In that Gospel reading today that I read, Jesus is transformed by his Father's love, and we hear of him going up the mountain with 3 of his friends, his disciples, and those disciples experienced a wow moment. Jesus had taken them for a walk, and while he was there, his appearance changed dramatically. The Bible tells us that Jesus' face shone like the sun and his clothes became dazzling bright. Imagine that. It must have been a real wow moment. Something unusual was happening. I wonder how they felt. Scared, terrified, anxious of what was happening to their friend, or maybe a little bit excited, yet unnerved too. The disciples saw Jesus in all of his glory. Up until that point, although Jesus was doing wonderful miracles, the disciples had seen Jesus just as a man and a friend. But now on that mountain, they saw Jesus as he truly was and is, the Son of God, and it was totally awesome, a real wow factor moment. Not only did they see Jesus in his glory, but then they also heard God's voice. For God spoke to them from a bright cloud, telling them that Jesus was his Son and his beloved, and they were to listen to him. As they came down the mountain later that day, they must have been thinking, wow, what happened? We've seen God's glory and we've heard God's voice. How amazing would that be? They caught a vision that God is beautiful, powerful and righteous. They experienced how truly awesome and wonderful he is. We too worship that same Jesus that the disciples knew all those years ago. Do we still get the wow factor from him? Are we in awe who Jesus really is? Do you think of Jesus and explain, wow? This Valentine's Day, we have a challenge to truly know the gift of love from God, the ultimate love for us. He calls us his beloved children, and for us to reclaim the gift of love is the challenge. To know that we are truly loved, no strings attached for who we are. But it goes further than that. Our challenge is to share that love with those around us, in our households, in our neighbourhoods, in a COVID-safe way, obviously. So let the beautiful things that you see in the world around you make you go, wow. May they draw you into worshipping the one who made those things, who is even more wow than we could possibly imagine. And my wish or prayer for you is that you will truly know God's love for you this day and always. And maybe you could take some time as we begin to head towards the cross, as we start Lent on Wednesday. Maybe you could take some time to think about what God is trying to say to you. Maybe you could try writing a poem or a letter of what God is saying to you. Maybe a love letter. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But God loves you truly. So what does he really want you to hear? Maybe if you don't like writing, maybe you could draw a picture of one of your wow places, a place you really long to visit once COVID's over, or a picture of what you think God's love looks like. And if you do that, maybe you could take a photo and share it with us on one of our Facebook pages or email it to us. And it'd be really good to see with what you've come up with. Or maybe you've got a picture of a wow place that you'd like to share with us to help cheer us up during this lockdown. For now, take care and God bless. Bye bye.